Pyromaniacs, we are back. And as you can see, we're talking tight ends in this episode. Uh, Before we get into that, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the RotoHeat content, whether it's redraft, dynasty, DFS, player outlooks, or whatever it may be. You want to make sure you get all that in your notifications. We're going to hit the intro and be right back.
Everything's on fire. Everything's on fire. Everything's on fire.
All right, Craig, we're talking tight end, and you know me. I don't like paying for my tight ends, especially in cash games. Um, when you look at this board, where are you going in cash for your tight ends?
Um, well, I think Johnu Smith is pretty sweet at 4,200 for cash. I think that I will be playing a lot of Jimmy Graham. Please don't throw up on the video. Um, I think he's
Did you
look.
see? I understand he caught that touchdown, but did you see
Yeah,
how
I mean,
badly he timed two of those high passes? We were so mad at Trubisky, but Jimmy Graham literally two of those passes weren't terrible passes by Trubisky. He just his timing on his jumps were terrible.
yeah,
You can just tell that he's aged Jimmy Graham and not youthful
yeah.
Jimmy Graham that could jump up and grab everything. It's gross.
But now he's shook some rust off. The timing's going to be a little better. But I think the number one cash guy is Logan Thomas. He's cheap. He was super targeted. Let's go. They're gonna be
Yeah,
playing from
look,
behind all the time.
Yeah, look at this dude. 8 targets, ran a bunch of routes. He doesn't block. I didn't know that this dude was a quarterback that converted. We've seen that quite a bit in the history of the tight end spot, right? A lot of quarterbacks have
Yeah,
converted to tight end. Weird that you would have that happen, uh, but yeah, Thomas. It says right here he played 74% of the plays, ran a bunch of routes, got 8 targets. Found the end zone. Obviously, if he can get the yardage up, he can get there for you without even getting in the end zone. You know, if he has 4 for 50, he's got 9. He's just about there for you in cash games. So I agree. Logan Thomas is going to be a guy that I probably smash into a lot. Um, if you I don't see the point of moving down to somebody like Herndon, right?
mm-mm.
Because it's only a couple hundred less. If even Thomas, who I don't mind, but is only 400 less, like I would just pay that and get that run out of him, and nothing below that seems even close to viable.
No.
So you can get he might not be the lowest dollar viable option, but he's probably going to be the uber chalk anyway in cash games. So you can eat that. Save your Herndons and your Thomases for GPP builds, in my opinion. Going up, I mean, Goddard may be chalky this week because of his huge week one. I wrote him up in my week one cash game article. A lot of people got off him and went to Hurst. Or Hawkinson, and I I love Dallas Goddard. I love the talent, but he might be chalky, so he might be viable this week. It might just be Goddard and Thomas cash game options for
Yeah.
me because I mean Kelsey's an option, Andrews is an option. Um, but I would rather not spend that money, especially this week with what we've seen on the board. Um, I would rather just pay down for Thomas and go that way. But I love these other plays for GPP for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we know that tight end is one of the most highest variant positions. So I don't want to spend a lot of money for a position that I don't know that I'm getting a certain floor out cash game. So I'll punt it. If there's a guy like Logan Thomas who's available in that price range, it's automatic.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I mean, here's the thing, right? When it comes to GPPs, I want to know how much run Jordan Reed's going to get if George Kittle sits. Um,
Sure.
people forget just how good Jordan Reed was, and he's probably not as good as he was. But where's he at here? There he is, 2,600.
It's pretty sweet from GPP.
2,600. This is the only guy that if he if he's the starter in week 2, I could potentially throw him into a cash game lineup and save that 1,000. We talked about the range we could be in. Um, it sounds crazy. He's one hit away from being out of the game, but 2,600. If he puts up a 0, worse things have happened to my cash game lineups.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, 2,600 is it's like playing a defense, a bad one. It's awesome.
Yeah, and if he gets okay, so he got 2 targets and caught both for 12 yards. If he's the main guy, they're probably going to have uh, him more incorporated in week 2, and he has touchdown upside. But if he gets you 3 catches for 40 yards, he's hit value for you.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that at all. But obviously, that is all depending on Kittle. What else are you looking at for tournament play?
I love Hayden Hurst. I think he burned a lot of people for what their expectations were last week, but we're heading right back into what should be another shootout. So that's a good way to stack that game and be a little different. Um, I don't know. Hawkinson, I would probably go back to the well on if I was stacking that game up, depending on Galladay's health, I think, because if Galladay sits, then Hawkinson becomes a primary target for them, especially after my rookie running back Love dropped that touchdown in the end zone. I don't think they're going to be trusting him again in the red zone for passes right away.
they're
So
they're probably gonna
I
look
could
for
see Hawkinson having a
the
big
big
game.
Hawkinson. Um, yeah, I mean
Yeah.
I can't argue with that. I think Evan Ingram's one.
Mm.
That this dude was targeted 7 times. He only had 9 yards on 2 receptions. Um, we saw what the Bears gave up to Hawkinson in Week 1. Evan Ingram's just as good of a talent. Um, at 5,300, if the Bears do hold Slayton at all, Evan Ingram's going to be a guy to play in this game, and his 2.9 points from last week is going to keep people off of him. I think he's a great pivot play because he's sandwiched with Hawkinson, Ertz, Andrews, um, and Goddard a little bit below there. In GPPs, I think Evan Ingram's going to be a great play this week.
Yeah, that's not bad. You can always go to obviously Kelsey and Andrews are both great plays no matter what. But even in GPPs, I don't really like to spend up that much for the tight ends. So I'm living down in the Hayden Hurst and lower range.
Yeah, absolutely. Noah Fant, we've seen, had a huge first half. This killed me, right? Playing those showdowns at the start of the fourth quarter. Out of 5,500 lineups, I had 6 of the top 10. And for some reason, Denver says, why would we keep using Noah Fant, who's dominating? And I don't think he caught a ball in the second half, and it just blew everything up because the team on the other side decided, we'll use our tight end, Jonnu Smith, and he'll get a touchdown.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit pissed off at Denver, but Noah Noah Fant could end up being very high owned, so he might be a guy I fade in GPPs. Gasecki's a guy I'll go back to the well on.
Sure.
He was targeted 5 times, only 3 for 30 for 6 points, but don't mind him for tournaments. I mean, you got your boy Jimmy Graham in there.
I think OJ Howard is a fine play. He's got the talent, and Brady seemed to be looking for him. Now, that whole first game of Tampa may have been just a disaster that they wipe clean and start fresh against Carolina this week. But I would put Howard in a GPP lineup for $4,000 or 3,900.
I'll leverage you with some Rob Gronkowski.
Okay.
Um, I think people are going to look at that game and be like, there were times where Gronk didn't look good, but this dude didn't come back to play second fiddle to OJ Howard. I mean,
Right. It's his first game back, and I mean, I don't know the actual number of days, but probably 700 some odd days. Like it's been a long time since he
yep,
played a down. So of course there's going to be a warm up period, you know.
yep. And here's the thing too. And I don't know. I don't know how this all panned out, but the Saints have been a team where I've avoided playing tight ends against, right? But I know they've done really good against the tight end ones, right? I faded Zach Ertz last year in a matchup where everybody was on Zach Ertz and he got shut down because it's the Saints, and they do well shutting down that tight end. So if him having a rough time opened it up for OJ Howard, that second tight end, then we might see more against Carolina than we've seen against the Saints. So uh, I would just that's only if OJ Howard gets a lot of ownership. Then I'll use that Rob Gronkowski play because he could go for 2 touchdowns. He might only have 2 receptions for 12 yards, but that wouldn't be a
Yeah,
bad
but
way
you
to go.
take it.
Are you on Dalton Schultz replacing Blake Jarwin?
Not really, only because there are so many target hogs in front of him, right? I mean, I know it only takes a touchdown to make a tight end worthwhile in some of these formats, but there's just too many quality options in front of him on that team.
I agree, and I wasn't on uh, Jarwin to begin with because of that reason. So I'm definitely not going to be on Schultz because I don't think he's as good as Jarwin. Um, but yeah, I think that Hurst. I love Hurst for GPPs. I love Evan Ingram for GPPs. I'm probably gonna have a lot of both of them. And then cash game. It's probably gonna be Logan Thomas, and that's it. Like I don't see a reason to go away from him at 3,600. Um, that's my thought on tight ends. Do you have anything else?
No, man, I think we hit it pretty well. Logan Thomas is your cash smash, and Hurst, Ingram, and maybe Jordan Reed, like you said, that could be sneaky.
Jordan Reed. I mean, like you said, Hawkinson and we can't forget Hunter Henry's viable there too. But especially in a game versus the Kansas City, we probably should have talked about him more, right? He had
Yeah.
8 targets, 5 for 73. Um, this guy in that game is probably going to be a popular stack option though, right? With a bring back on Mahomes stacks. So maybe running him solo will be a little bit different than other lineups that he's in because he's capable of popping off a 25 bomb at tight end. Uh, so yeah, uh, keep an eye out for the content. Get in the Discord chat. This is recorded Wednesday before 1 o'clock, so there's a lot of news, a lot of notes to still come out before we get to actually that lineup lock. So, a lot of stuff could change between now and then. These are our opinions at this time on Wednesday, but they could change before we get to Sunday lock. Do you have anything else to say?
No, man, just follow along, read our articles. But that Discord is gold. It's great for the showdown slates if you guys ever want to play in those. I'm a big fan of those, so I'm in there Thursday mornings, just like let's talk lineups all day for those showdowns.
Yep, rotoheat.com/discord will get you in there, and it's free and it's fun and it's great to talk anything football. We got all kinds of other stuff in there too. Just a bunch of dudes uh, hanging out, talking sports. Uh, Other than that, hit that like button, subscribe, notification bell, get her done. We'll be back next week with our picks for each position. Also, right there, playlist. Hit it. Watch the videos. Do it. You want to. Do it.